I wanted revenge on my cheating ex-husband, so I gave it my all. I turned myself from an ugly duckling into a shining beauty. I broke his marriage apart and used my looks as a trap. Finally, he fell right in. To see me in secret, he shamelessly took a long leave. He even lied to his wife Wally, saying he was on a business trip, but he never knew. His nightmare had already begun. We arrived in Yamanashi. He dropped his mask right away. He put his hand on my shoulder in public, like he wanted the whole world to know I was his. I forced a smile and made an excuse to the restroom. I wiped away the place he touched. Then I called my friend Toritani. It was time for the next step. On the mountaintop, I held my phone, pretending to take pictures, but my fingers sent Toritani a secret signal. He took out the complaint draft I wrote and called my ex-husband's company, pretending to be a customer. Normally, Jihei handled these cases, but he was on leave. When his co-workers didn't know what to do, Toritani threatened them. "If you don't fix it today, I'll expose it." In a rush, his co-worker had no choice but to call Jihei. A female co-worker reminded him to try his home phone first during private time, and the one who answered was Wally. The female co-worker was shocked to hear that Jihei was on leave, but said to be on a business trip. But to protect his family, she didn't expose him. She hung up and called Jihei instead. At that time, he was still taking selfies with me. When he saw the call from his co-worker, he slipped aside to answer. After hanging up, he rushed back to me to apologize. He said there was an emergency at work, and he needed to go back right away. Back at the office, his co-workers were already full of anger. One co-worker said bluntly they would report his affair to the higher-ups. No matter how hard Jihei tried to explain, no one was willing to believe him. He returned home in a mess, lying that the company had urgent business, so he ended the trip early. But once he got to the balcony, he screamed in anger. He never thought a simple date would destroy his whole image. The next morning, his boss called him in. Because his affair damaged the company's reputation, the company gave him two choices. 1, take a demotion with a pay cut and work in a suburban branch. 2, resign immediately and find another job. He walked out with his head down. Co-workers gave him cold looks. When Wally found out, she didn't comfort him. Instead, she kept complaining. But then she realized if Jihei was transferred, she could openly stay with Toritani. So she put on a fake face, pretending to comfort him. But Jihei was not stupid. He thought about her affair with Toritani. Anger rushed through him. He shouted at Wally. I watched in the dark and felt nothing but joy. But my revenge was not over. When Jihei was broken, I showed up again. He hugged me tightly, but I pushed him away, saying we were too close to home. We went to the riverside. He told me he was sent to another branch. I acted like I cared, but inside, I was laughing. He whispered maybe quitting was better. That way Wally would divorce him, and he could stay with me openly. I saw through his plan at once, and I quickly painted him a perfect plan. I said I was willing to go with him to the new company. He wouldn't need to quit. He wouldn't need a divorce, and we could keep seeing each other. He was